You ever meet somebody and they're so boring you feel like they poisoned you? Like, you're talking to them and you're like, I feel like I'm dying right now. And I think you did it.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh my god, it's a 4-2-5 defense. All you gotta do is blitz more. All they gotta do is fire Eric Glenn, and then you can start winning again. You're so stupid.
Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. We're on.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to Henry Gray, who was the first person in there. He's feeling good on Feel Good Thursday. Dwayne in the house. Fred Peterson, our Patreon, is in the house. One guy in the house. Good morning, Aiden. Good morning, Jordan. Good morning, Chantal. Chantal? Oh, let's go. Let's go. It is Football Talk with your host, Russell Wayne. Welcome to the program, and we are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News podcast. That page, 70,000 strong. Big old shout out to Joe Chap, Darcy, and the boys. And we are broadcasting live into Mike the Bear Fan. I can't even believe there's Bear fans that are left right here, but there's this is one of the best fan bases that's out there. I got to give them credit. They've been showing up. They've been showing out. They're proving that they can go and do football 365. And I bet they can't wait to get into our off-season programming because it's going to be fun to do that with that Madden-esque kind of off season right there. And then right here, right now, I haven't even done the graphic for it yet, but we are crossing 35,000 villains here. Here in I don't know, probably by the end of the day. We're at 34,000 villains right now, and we're hoping to get over 35,000 villains. Hit that follow button. Hit that follow button. Whatever you're watching this thing on, if you are on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're on the Detroit Lions News Podcast, give them a follow. They have great content. Follow our page. We do football talk 365 days a year. Whether it be here on our page, we have football content 365 days a year. And right now, it is very, very exciting times. If you are in or around the city of Detroit and you are a Detroit Lions fan, because for the first time in like over 30 years, the Lions are in the NFC Championship in this game, and they have a shot to become the first time that Detroit would go to a Super Bowl. And that feels pretty good. That NFC Championship game feels pretty good as a Detroit Lions fan. If you're out there, do we got a shot in this game? I know that we're the underdogs. We're going out to San Fran. We're going to play this game. Lots of questions about this game. And then on the other side, there's only one other game, folks. The AFC Championship. Patrick Mahomes, the returning champ.
The champ is here.
That's right. The returning champ, Patrick Mahomes, against the reigning MVP of the league, Lamar Jackson. It doesn't get any bigger than this. And can he get it done? Can Lamar Jackson get it done? That's the questions that we want to answer today. But before we get into that, yesterday we tallied up all of the votes. Lion of the week. The Villain Squad Lion of the Week. It may be more prestigious than even the Coach of the Year. Right there, NFC Coach of the Year, right there, Dan Campbell. That's a great award, but the Lion of the Week, Villain Squad Lion of the Week, we tallied up the votes in there. We had the nominations of one. Who all did we have in it? We had a Jahmyr Gibbs nomination. We had a Derek Barnes nomination. We had a Frank Ragnow nomination. Who nominates a center? And that is our winner right there. Congratulations to Frank Ragnow. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank wins Lion of the Week. This guy went out there on 1 foot, 1 ankle. He had his kneecap bitten off. And he still went out there with 1 kneecap. And then he bit both of their kneecaps off. What a great player. Frank Ragnow is the best player on the Detroit Lions. And we were talking about this yesterday. Frank the Tank. Frank Ragnow is the best player. The second best player is Penei Sewell on our roster. Yeah. And the third best player is Taylor Decker. These 3 guys. I mean, I even look at the PFF grades, and you look at it right there. Actually, Penei Sewell is a better player than Frank Ragnow when it comes to PFF. But Frank the Tank is as good as they come. He had over a 90 run blocking grade. Frank the Tank, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker. And then you got guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown that you're throwing into that. But it is all up front first, folks.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yes. The battle starts up front. And those 3 guys, I mean, people can say whatever they want about Jared Goff. Oh, I don't know. Jared Goff, I don't know. Can you get pressure on him? That's the thing. They're not going to get pressure. They're not going to get pressure because Jared Goff can do whatever he wants in the backfield. There's nothing that you're going to do about it. Strength on strength. The Lions are a 7-point underdog. And you know why? Because Christian McCaffrey is a beast. It's because Deebo Samuel is a beast. Brandon Ayuk is a beast. That defensive line with Nick Bosa and Chase Young, Armstead, Kinlaw. They're loaded. They're loaded. They got great linebackers. Phenomenal team. But we match up. The Lions match up well against the strengths of this vaunted San Francisco 49er team that nobody can beat. I think they're beatable. I watched the game last week, and you guys did too. The Green Bay Packers were running all over. I had to watch the game again to make sure. I had to make sure that I saw what I saw, because you think of this San Francisco team and you think of a team that's just going to be ruthless against the run. You ain't going to be able to run on these guys. Forget that. And then you got Aaron Jones running for over 100 yards on his team. Actually, they should have won the game. I thought that Green Bay, put them on their heels, went right out there. And I'm telling you, man, I like me some Aaron Jones, but Jahmyr Gibbs is a superstar. And I think that the Lions can run on this team. I could be wrong. Yes, Henry Gray, Frank the Tank is our villain squad Lion of the Week. That is it right there. You got it, baby. Look at that. You got the graphic and everything. Look at that. Look at that. That feels good, doesn't it, Frank the Tank? He's gotten Man of the Year awards and everything, but nothing like this. Nothing like this. The Villain Squad Lion of the Week. And I love this page. And I love all the people that are on this page that are Lions fans on the Lions Villain Squad, because this is our page. Just like Henry says right here. This is our Villain Squad. Mike and I host a show, but whatever. But there's 34,000 villains that are all going through this journey together through the whole year, the ups and downs. We were on here. We grew this thing together, and we're all fans together. It's like there is no hierarchy here within the villains. We're all villains. We're all blue collar. We're all Honolulu blue collar. Shout out to that page. It's a great name for a page because I love being able to say that. Honolulu blue collar. The Lions can win this game. And the keys to winning is up front. Like if I say what's the keys to winning for San Francisco? Well, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you got the number one offense, the scoring offense in the league. I mean, you got a world-class defense. You've been waiting your turn. You've been in the NFC Championship or the divisional round every year. You've been waiting. You're hungry too. You want to see it happen. You've been good for a long time. But these Lions ain't no joke. They're going to fight you. But if Christian McCaffrey all of a sudden gets going, the Lions aren't going to do very well. But if they can stop the run, I think they can get in there and rattle Purdy's cage. I don't think Purdy's that good when the entire game is put on to him. I mean, he's great in the play action and stuff like that. But if you got to put the game on your shoulders, like Jared Goff has had to do a couple times, if the run game shuts down, he ain't very good. He ain't very good. And as long as they protect Jared Goff, and we have a great offensive line, if they keep him clean, I think that he'll carve that defense up. But we'll see. We'll see. That's the key to winning for San Francisco. As they get Christian McCaffrey going, it's over. It's over. It's over. Then that means that everything else is opened up. And you really don't have a prayer at that point. That's just kind of what San Francisco is. But if you stop the run and you make them one-dimensional, and Dan Campbell's talked about it in his press conferences. That's what it is. That's what it is. You got to stop the run. That everything starts there. Keep Christian McCaffrey at bay. Make Brock Purdy beat you. Keep sending those exotic blitzes. Sending those safeties. I know that leaves Cam Sutton and Kendall Vildor on an island. They're going to get beat on some plays. Again, they'll give up a lot. They'll give up another 100-yard receiver, but that's the style of the defense. You come to accept that, You look at the box score, you got one guy that goes off and they shut the run down and everything else is shut down. I guess you can make a case for Otten in the last game. 6 catches for 65 yards and a TD. But, you only got one guy that's going off like over 100 yards. Again. So that's the style. They want to get home on those safety blitzes. If Brock Purdy can make those plays, that's cool. But when Green Bay got pressure on him, the balls that he was throwing weren't that good. He wasn't that good under the clutch. He had one good drive at the end. So, let's get into some of this other stuff right here, man. This came across my desk like as I was getting ready to do the show, and this is cool. The 2023 NFC Coach of the Year is our very own Dan Campbell. Let me get into some of these while we're loading our thoughts on that. Let's get into some of these comments. Let's say Aiden. Good morning, Aiden. It's good to see you on here. Congratulations to Frank. We get some congratulations, Frank or Duh Tank. Aiden says that he is sad. I don't know why you would be sad. Why would you be sad? Dwayne says that he has grit and a love for the team and the city. The guy goes out there on one leg. He's got a busted knee, a busted ankle, and he goes out there and plays anyway. He's so tough. That's why he's the best player on this team. Frank is tough as a German tank. Yes, he is. Jerry says that we need a win. Look at that. Look at that. Gun guy. Lions match up well. You agree with me. All right, good. Jordan says that we have a handful of players that could consistently be nominated as the Lion of the Week. And there is nothing wrong with that. And that is the absolute truth. I like, throwing in, a Gibbs or, a Jack Campbell or, those guys got nominated for it because a lot of the players are playing well. Derek Barnes, how big of an interception right there. Hey, Russ, Dwayne, Henry, gun guy. All right. Dwayne, Henry, and gun guy. Where's Mike? Yeah, Mike had to, I guess he had some work duties out there. He's out there undercover in the NFL world. No, we got our jobs. We got our lives. We don't make the big bucks on doing this yet, which, by the way, if you want to become one of our Patreons, like Fred Peterson, you can go to patreon.com/Villain Squad. And we would love to have Mike here every single day. But unfortunately, until this becomes a full-time career, we can't do that yet. But we're going to keep working towards it. Fred Peterson. I brought it up on Jeremy's show this morning. To any fan that's scared of San Francisco, there are just as many, if not more, San Francisco fans that are fearing our Lions in a San Francisco page. The fans are very nervous in playing us. Why do you think that is, Fred? That's a great question. Why would you be nervous of the Lions if you're the San Francisco 49ers? And I'd love to answer that question. The thing is, the Lions team, since Brad Holmes started putting this thing together, they ripped it apart at the studs. They ripped it apart at the studs because they didn't want any of the toxic old energy in this room. And they kept the studs from the previous regime. When you talk about Ragnow and Taylor Decker, those were good carryovers. You know, Jalen Reeves may have been left, but then he came back. Glasgow left, and then he came back. But for the most part, you're looking at the entire cupboard was bare. He ripped it apart at the studs, and he brought in the guys that he wanted. Now, over the course of the last 3 years, there's no better GM that's been drafting better than our general manager here than Brad Holmes. So why is San Francisco scared? Is there's a whole bunch of players that were drafted earlier that are starting to play well. The defense is starting to play well. You guys can rip on Cam Sutton all that you want, but ever since Chauncey Gardner came back, you know, you had Cam Sutton fall down on one and Vildor fell down on the other. But outside of those like breakdown plays, the defense has been lights out, guys. And you got ascending players like Ife Melifonwu, which, by the way, before I go any further, I'm going to throw this shout out in there just because I love the fact that Ife gave us a shout out and then he started balling. As soon as he gave us this shout out, he started balling after that. So thank you, Iffy.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
Yeah, that's right there. That's Ife Melifonwu. And no, thank you, Ife Melifonwu, for finding yourself, finding your spot onto this roster and becoming not only a good safety, but an impact player at safety. And I love watching you blitz off of the edge, my friend. And it's players like Iffy, it's players like Derek Barnes that should be scaring the crap out of those guys because they're not household names yet. And right now, they're in the midst of making names for themselves. You know, you got guys like Josh Pascal, who's been quietly playing well for the last 5-6 weeks, opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson. Now, should you fear Aiden Hutchinson? I think you should fear him more than Nick Bosa. Because for one, you got Decker and you got Sewell that can handle those guys. Now, Aiden Hutchinson is a machine. It seems like this guy went through 18 weeks to start the engine, had some, it took a minute to get that engine going, but it seems like he's just getting started. He seems like he's getting stronger week to week. That should be scary because I don't care how good San Francisco is on offense. If Aiden Hutchinson comes in and wrecks your game plan, I don't care what players are on your team. You may be spending most of the game on your back if they can't block these guys coming through. And they've been sending these blitzes, 5 and 6 guys. The Lions are betting they can get home faster and winning their one-on-ones and collapse that pocket quicker than this guy can go back and throw the ball over the middle of the field on the one-on-ones. Yeah, Cam Sutton gets burnt. He gets such a bad rap because that's all they're going to be doing is tackling. They're going to be attacking him all day long, him and Vildor on the outside. They're going to put him in one-on-ones. The Lions defense, Aaron Glenn is betting that the safety blitz or whatever, however they're trying to get home, is going to get there before Brock Purdy can release the ball accurately. That's the game plan, folks. That's a game plan. Cam Sutton's not a number one corner. Kendall Vildor is not a number one corner. This is the style of defense that you have to play to protect those players because they're good players. But if you let stuff develop, these good teams will take those shots downfield and they will kill you. You know, see Puka Nacua, see CeeDee Lamb, see Justin Jefferson. Those guys can kill you. But even if those guys kill you, we have found out that you can have one receiver kill you and you can still win the game. Not all the games. You lost the one in to Dallas when you got killed, but you won the other two. So that's what you're dealing with. But Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year, NFC Coach of the Year. Put it out there. Let's give it up.
You like that?
Give it up for Dan.
You like that? The champ is here.
We're hoping. We're hoping. There's a lot of Lion fans in here that have been, I don't know. If you were around, if you were even alive in 1957, I want you to post that into the comments because I don't even know how many people that we would have that were even alive during the last time the Lions were in a championship game. So this is the first time for a lot of us guys. I've never seen two playoff wins in a year. Ted says that Lions and Kansas City rematch for the win. And I like that comment.
You like that?
Thanks, Ted. Justin says that the Lions haven't given up 100 yards to any one running back all year. Don't expect that to change Sunday. That's strength on strength. That's what you're talking about right there, Justin. Strength on strength. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league. I mean, I love Jahmyr Gibbs and everything, but I think that the Lions have the best running back tandem in the league. You know, those two together, you know, and Jahmyr Gibbs might be as good as McCaffrey. We don't even know yet. Isn't that scary? That's another thing that's scary about them San Francisco 49ers. That why they would be scared of us is what I'm saying. Is Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, is Jahmyr Gibbs? I mean, he might be the best running back left. I mean, I love Christian McCaffrey, dude. I mean, he's great. He's great. I mean, but Jahmyr Gibbs is just good. He can do everything that Christian McCaffrey does. They use him the exact same. McCaffrey's been around longer. He's got the name. But Jahmyr Gibbs is breaking out right now. That's the thing, is you got players like Jack Campbell. You got players like Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams. These guys are breaking out. They asked Jared Goff about Jameson Williams. He's fine. He's involved in the game. He's a weapon. You got to put your safety over top. Good, or you're going to get beat deep. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Lions have every opportunity available to them right in front of them, right there. They're not overmatched in this game. There's a lot of money that's out there on San Francisco, but you know, the real football minds knows that this is going to be a barn burner. And if that point spread is still 7, run and take that shit while it's 7 before it moves down to 6. It could be. Oh, there's Sarah, my favorite Viking fan. She may even be starting a podcast called The Vikings right there. And she would be the queen of that podcast. That would be cool. Get your Vegas tickets ready. That's what Brett. Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, Rob. It's the playoffs. Anything can happen.
Playoffs. Challenge me.
And that's it. That's one of the things that Dan Campbell was saying was just get into the tournament. You know, the whole season, you're playing the game, you're going through the ebbs and flows of the season. You win some, you lose some, but just get into the tournament. And then you want to get a home playoff game. They accomplished all that. But now it's just, you know, facing the next opponent, getting ready for the next opponent. Now we get all excited. Like they said, get those Vegas tickets ready. but they ain't thinking about Vegas yet. They are hyper focused on one San Francisco 49er team and doing something special. And if they get to that last game, that I love the one game at a time mentality. Now, us fans, we could say whatever the hell we want. We're not in the matchup room trying to do stuff. Oh, this is fun. I don't like going solo all the time, but every once in a while it's fun. Just being in here solo, because we can do that. We can do that. And Jeremy Ballwright can do that too. He had a solo show. Bustin' Balls with Jeremy B. That's going to be our morning show. 10 a.m. That's when the festivities start. And we do this year round, folks. And here I am at 11 a.m. during the week. Football talk with Russell Wayne and my compadre Mike most of the time. So thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing this content. If that's how you're helping, that's the best way that you can do it. Just like the video that you're on. That's free, right? If you're watching me, you obviously like football, and we're just football fans that talk about football. We have horrible opinions, but that's all right. So does everybody else. So we don't mind your horrible opinions, and we'll throw our horrible opinions out there, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. So JIK, right? I'll just say, yeah. JIK says that the Lions just know how to win. They're learning it together. Rob says, except our secondary. Yeah, that's our Achilles heel. And we were talking about that, Rob. Every team has an Achilles heel. And the defense that we're playing plays to that. So blame it on the secondary. That's fine. I have no problem with the shade that's getting thrown on Cameron Sutton. You want to see him play better. But the thing is the defense, they're even telling that. Aaron Glenn's going to Cam Sutton and says, look, they're going to go at you all day long, and we're going to try to get the pass rush there, and we're going to leave you on an island, but we got to shake this boy's tree. And that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to get home, and they're leaving their cornerbacks on an island. And these guys are very good. Kendall Vildor is a good run defender. So, but he lacks in the cover. That's why Chicago got rid of him, because he can't cover those guys long, but he is an excellent run defender. So they are being aggressive in there. So that is my answer to that right there. And like, I can ask the San Francisco 49ers, Rob, what about your run defense? You guys were stout against the run. You bring in Chase Young, and all of a sudden you're not good at the run no more. Nick Bosa seems like a very, very scary pass rusher, but it seems like if you run at him, you're fine. So, yeah, our secondary has some questions. The San Francisco's run defense has some questions. Brock Purdy has some questions when he's has to put the team on his shoulders. If they make you one-dimensional. I like our chances on the quarterback, because our quarterback has more experience in that. So, yeah, we got some questions. All four teams that are left have some questions. You got to deal with your weaknesses. And can you get it out there? Dan Campbell is on a live right now. Yeah. Sometimes they go live right when we do. So no wonder nobody's watching our program. No, I'm kidding. Got 35 people on here right now, and I appreciate you guys. But Dan Campbell is live right now. Feel free to leave the podcast and go watch the more exciting one. I'm going to be looking at it after I'm done with this program, and then we'll have more stuff to talk about for tomorrow. And if you guys are on here tomorrow, our Fridays are Pick'em Fridays, and we pick all the games. And there just happens to be only two games that we're playing. I know that this was last week's thing, but that's my Pick'em Friday picture from last week. And yeah, come on here. We're going to pick the games against the spread. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and we'll be talking about that tomorrow. All right. So, congratulations out to our Lion of the Week winner, and that is one Frank the Tank. Thank you, Frank the Tank. I know that he accepts that award, and it's like, I mean, I know he's been nominated for Man of the Year and everything like that, but I know that this one's going to go right at the top of your trophy case. I know that it is right there. Lion of the Week winner, Frank the Tank, goes out there. He had one of his kneecaps bitten off, and he went back out there anyway. That's what Frank the Tank does.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
He embodies it. He puts it in there. And, you know, Ken's been watching me go solo all day today. I don't know if he thinks he's got to save me or whatever, but here's Ken. Thank you, Ken.
Bro, I know the pain of going solo. I know what you're going through this morning.
I really don't mind it at all. I like that. I got good questions for everybody right here. Now we're going to move on to these guys, not this one, these ones, and talk a little bit about this. And this is okay to have a Bear fan in here on this because this is neither one of our teams. And here we are, AFC Championship right here. And this is a great one because you got the defending, the champ.
The champ is here.
Against the reigning MVP. And the question has always been, Lamar's awesome. He's dynamic. He reminds you a lot of the Justin Fields talk that they would have. You love the dynamic playmaking, but can he get it done? Can Lamar get it done on this big stage? What do you think, Ken?
You want my answer? All right, hold on. Put me on the screen. Put me on the screen. I'll show you my answer. You ready?
You got it. Answer. Yeah, you think he's going to get it done? You think that this is the year that they finally get it done?
Finally? I mean, this right here says they just got it done recently. Within the last, decade? Yeah, they'll win another one. I mean, look at.
Yeah, Baltimore, but who was the quarterback was playing for Cleveland now?
That was Ray Lewis's last hurrah, that Super Bowl. But no, I mean, look at Baltimore is just all year has been on a different level. They've made really good teams look really silly all year. There's, we see all these posts, the pyramids, the real guy, the contender, the wannabe. No, they've been on a different chart. I mean, Baltimore all season, they've had a couple games where they haven't performed maybe to their standard, but throughout the year, that when it comes to the good teams, they've made them all look silly. This is gonna be a great game. I think Baltimore wins. I think it's hard to stop Baltimore from winning the Super Bowl this year. Right now, they're my pick to win it all. They've been on another level. I mean, and their defense. I mean, everyone talks about Lamar, but their defense is pretty damn good. I mean, we're used to saying Baltimore in defense, not Baltimore in offense, but they're probably. I mean, they're a complete team, man. They're on a different level. They're on a different level.
You got the MVP talks had a lot of Brock Purdy in there on that. And it's just like the defense is really the only reason that Lamar Jackson's stats weren't so gaudy like San Francisco's, because they were going out, they get ahead of these teams and they don't mind running the football to take those possessions away and get the game over with, where San Francisco was just, Christian McCaffrey's running for 80-yard touchdowns and Deebo Samuel's getting all these big plays. And it's like the stats don't mean everything. And we've been over that time and time again. And Lamar Jackson this year it's just different. The way that he's playing his run to pass. Now, Justin Fields was doing a little bit of that towards the end of the year where he's starting to really use, your defense against you, right? When you roll out of the pocket and then you almost act like you're going to run, and then you bring that linebacker up, you dump it over his head to a crossing tight end. That's huge. And he's been doing it all year long. Don't matter whether it's Andrews, Likely, Odell Beckham, Flowers, whoever's going across the middle, he's able to hit this guy. Or if they decide to cover him, then Lamar Jackson just goes and gets a quick 10, 15 yards with the legs. So you have to be able to work that balance. And I agree with you, man. They're Goliath in this playoff right now. Like, going into a Super Bowl, if the Lions were to get into the Super Bowl and it was against the Ravens, I don't like that. I mean, they whooped their ass early. I would be scared of that matchup. I would much rather see Patrick Mahomes do some miracle stuff and get Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl rather than face Lamar Jackson.
I mean,
honestly.
think about they didn't just whoop your ass; they whooped San Francisco's ass in San Francisco.
Right.
I mean,
right.
They're different. And like, look, I think this game's gonna be great with Kansas City because you got Mahomes, the Mahomes magic, blah blah blah. I mean, it's gonna be good. KC has a defense people don't talk about, but they're pretty good too. Right? They're a pretty good defense too, but people don't talk about it. It's going to be a good game, but when it comes to Baltimore, like I said, they're just been they showed up last week after getting a week off, so a little rust maybe showing there in that first half, and they go in the locker room at halftime, say, "Hey, these Texas kids think they can do something, right? Yeah, okay, we'll just shut that down." What do? They come out first drive, score a touchdown, take control of the game. The Texans can't do anything for the rest of the game. They're like, yeah, we just need the first half to wake up. I mean, Baltimore is just that kind of animal. They are just that kind of animal. And I don't know if I'd compare the Ravens to the 85 Bears or 2000 Ravens or any of those other teams, but they're not just dominant on one side of the ball. I think when you look at like 85 Bears, because we had someone make a comment about that, or like the older Ravens teams, the Ray Lewis led Raven teams, those types of teams that won Super Bowls, they were dominant on one side, like defense. It was all defense. The two Ravens Super Bowls and the 85 Bears, it was all 06 Bears too that went to the Super Bowl. It was all defense, right? This Ravens team though is different than any of those teams because not only are they dominant on defense, they've got a very explosive offense that can match any offense in the league with a quarterback that you can't just tackle, right? I mean, like Justin Fields, we saw the last couple of weeks how he gets out of, sacks. And people are like, how is he still up? Well, that's their quarterback too. I mean, that's what's different about this Ravens team. It's not predicated on we just have this defense that's going to smash you in the mouth and take the ball away and score points with the defense. Their offense can do it too. If you want to have a shootout, hey, they can accommodate you. If you want to have a defensive struggle, they can accommodate you. This team in Baltimore right now is probably the most complete team on both sides of the ball. And that's how they got here. And that's why they're making people look silly.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these comments in here. I asked some people earlier before about if anybody was alive in 1957, the last time the Lions won 2 playoff games in a year. And not, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people that have been fans, but I mean, we're in uncharted territory as Lions fans. I think that this is what's really cool because right now we're driving this Brinks truck full of house money out to San Francisco, and it's like we ain't got yeah. Well, nobody expects the Lions to win this game, and they got a good opportunity to go out there and do something that no team has done. and that's get to a Super Bowl from the Lions fan perspective. Now I know everybody else is out there with their multiple trophies, and I remember back. We don't remember anything. This is a team that's putting their first team out there. You're writing your own story, and part of it is this Frank the Tank story right here, and I love that. I want, to me, if the Lions are to win the Super Bowl this year, I want it to be through San Francisco. I was not rooting for Green Bay because I wanted a home game. I was rooting for San Francisco because Green Bay are my bitter rivals, and I cannot root for them under any circumstance. I just can't do it. I'm just not wired that way. Okay? Now, I wanted this. I wanted to go through San Francisco because then there's no talking. Everybody that said, well, you're good, but you're not quite as good as the good. Like, they go in there and they truck stick San Francisco, all the talk's over. They they took the hardest path. Let's get it done. And then for the Super Bowl, I think I'd have a better shot against Kansas City, but my football mind, I want the Ravens again. I want the Ravens again because if you're going to earn that Super Bowl, you might as well go through the best team. So if you somehow miracle win against the Ravens in the Super Bowl, then nobody can say anything other than congratulations, you're the best.
I think with some fans saying, well, I want it to be KC because we've already shown we can beat KC. Or we want KC dude, you guys beat KC in week 1. That isn't necessarily a good thing if you went to a Super Bowl matchup against them, because now they've got some billboard material. Oh, here's a team we thought they can come in week 1 and they embarrassed us at home, blah, 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 blah. That's billboard material, for KC. Like, if they need any other reason to be up for a Super Bowl, they've got one.
Right.
With the Ravens, if let's say you beat San Francisco, hey, it's a playoffs, anything can happen. Let's say you get a Lions-Ravens Super Bowl. What do you got to go on there? Well, not much. You've got they drubbed you during the regular season, so you got some billboard material, so that might be better for you than, let's say, hitting KC. The 4 teams are left. It's anyone's ball game. I think Baltimore's on another level. San Francisco struggled a little bit against Green Bay. Of course, they were without one of their best weapons who should be back this week. So, that's a crazy team too with another crazy good story. You got Mr. Irrelevant is their starting quarterback. Mr. Irrelevant is their starting quarterback and was in the MVP talk all year. So there's great story. Both teams have great stories. On the NFC side. The AFC side, it's like, okay, these guys are here every year. Patrick Mahomes was 7-8 years in a row. It's getting boring. It's just like watching Tom every year. But then you get this Baltimore team with, well, look, they can't do anything because Lamar can't make it to the playoffs. Well, Lamar made it to the playoffs, and guess what? Right? So, that story maybe isn't as compelling as the Lions-Niners game, but I think it's going to be 2 great games, and it's going to set up for a good Super Bowl.
It's beautiful, though. It's beautiful, though. It's not like, to me, one or the other. I think the Lions by far are the best story. They're the Cubs. They've never done anything before. They're the feel good story. The blue collar, like all the other teams that aren't in it anymore can kind of get behind the blue collar, hardworking thing. They've never done it before. Like, if you have no horse in the race, the Lions are a fun team to get behind right now. But this matchup right here, this is marquee, baby. This is right up there. Like the defending champ.
The champ is here.
Against the reigning MVP, who's never been able to make it through a playoff before because he always gets injured. Well, he's not injured. Here we are, AFC champion. So can you get it done? I don't know. In this last game, I was so convinced that Buffalo was going to get over this hump. They were in Buffalo. They had, everything. You had it teed up. It was sitting right there. You had your chrome driver right there. You took the best swing. You should have smashed that shit right down the middle of the fairway. But instead, you hook it into the weeds, And then there's Patrick Mahomes again with full ownership, and now he has residency, right? He's got his real estate agent. They bought a lifetime membership. Mahomes
You know what
lives
though?
in Josh Allen's head for the rest of his career. It's over.
You know what though, Russell? That game, it wasn't as much about Patrick Mahomes doing anything special. It was that Kansas City defense stopping one of the best quarterbacks in the league with a very potent offense. It's that, even in that game, the defense is the reason Kansas City wins that game. That defense can get no love because, we got Patrick Mahomes on the roster. Dude, your defense won that game. Sure, you
Yeah,
had 2 nice
I agree.
touchdowns to Kelsey, but it's like that defense is what killed Buffalo, not Mahomes. Mahomes had a pretty pedestrian,
Okay, so maybe it's not Mahomes, but it's this Chiefs thing that's got it. It's going to stick in his head forever. If it's not Mahomes going down in 17 seconds, the defense is playing good today. Oh no, Mahomes makes a hero out of some brand new receiver. Oh no, wait, we can't stop the run. All of a sudden, Pacheco goes off on him.
It's San Francisco versus Green Bay. I mean, that's what it is. It's San Francisco. It's the same kind of thing. That they just have your number. Green Bay, San Francisco, for the foreseeable future, is your daddy in the playoffs. They have your number. No matter what you do, you just can't find a way to beat them.
Right.
Well, Buffalo, KC's your daddy right now because it's the same thing.
He's the new Jim Kelly. He's the new Jim Kelly. Only they didn't get to the dance. I always get to the AFC Championship. That was kind of like Bernie Kosar back in the day. Those guys were there. They were there every year, but they just couldn't get it done. I got a hard stop today, so but we don't have as much to talk about anyway because here we are. I mean, we got 4 teams left. It's fun. I'm not used to this time of year talking about the Lions, but it's fun. This is obviously the funnest year that I've had podcasting because I'm usually talking about different teams right now. And this was fun. And I know that you're chomping at the bit. We're going to get into this when the Super Bowl's over. It's the focus is definitely going to turn to the Chicago Bears in that Madden-esque kind of off season that you guys can have.
Actually, because obviously we'll have our show Sunday because we have the Roku show on Sunday at 11:30.
Go ahead, plug that. Go ahead, plug that right there.
I'm Mike the Bear fan. There we go. We're doing every Sunday, 52 weeks of the year, 11:30 a.m. Central on all the channels you're watching now. Plus, we're also on Roku now. We have a lot to talk about in Chicago. We have a new OC. We have a DC process going on. And I'm not even talking about the draft we're not going to talk about the draft probably about another month on our show. There's still a lot of Bears football going on. New OC, hiring a staff for that, the DC talk that's going on. There's a lot of things going on actually still with the Bears compared to, let's say, last year. Last year was all about the draft pick. Well, this year we've got a lot of other things going on. Some big news, obviously, this week with the hire of the new OC, which we'll talk about on the show Sunday morning. And then we still have eyes on the games. We got former players in these games, right? We've got David Montgomery playing with the Lions. We got Roquan Smith playing with the Ravens. So, we're talking about other teams, but there's still a lot of Bears football to talk, and we'll talk about that.
No Kendall Vildor love, huh? No kidding.
Dude, you know what's funny though? Woody, that was a name that if you said Vildor, Woody would yell at you because we could not be happier to get rid of Vildor. And and I watch the Lions, and I'm like, a big play. Oh, wait, who was? It was Vildor. Yeah, go figure.
Yep.
I mean, I'm happy he found a home with a team that's having success. If there's an area you can improve for next year, it's getting someone to replace Vildor.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You guys are living kind of the same thing we are. We're like, Vildor again.
We're almost there. I swear we're exactly 1 year ahead of you guys with where the mentality is. And now the team, because of the great drafting of Brad Holmes over the last couple of years, there's not a ton of holes this year. You throw a couple high-end DBs into this mix. Maybe a defensive tackle that's a little higher end, and then you're filling depth pieces after that. There's really not. Everybody's signed. The whole core of the team is on rookie contracts, and
it comes down to now it's going to come down for the Lions for the next 2 or 3 years. especially it's going to come down.
We've
to
never been like this, by the way. We always have a cupboard, a cupboard that's completely bare on one side, and you're like, oh, we definitely need these. Oh, we just need a line. We have that. We've never been in a position like now where there isn't going to be a ton of needs. We got $60 million, so they go and they sign one high-end cornerback and a high-end defensive tackle. Then all of a sudden, there's not room. Like,
you guys are in that position now where for the next 2 or 3 years, it's injury management, contract management, and look, you guys have been in a similar position as a team before, maybe not with this success, but you've had some really good teams where you had some windows that kind of passed you by for various reasons, but that's where you're at now again. It's like, okay, Jared Goff, how much do I got to pay him? How much do I got to pay? Am I have to pay? You got some guys on rookie contracts.
But we're going to get into that. We're not.
Right,
I promise my base. We're not talking about off season at all.
You've got about 2 or 3 years of a good window without any real big gaping holes by Vildor.
Correct. Keeping our own guys is going to be the main focus. I don't want people from the outside coming in anymore. We want to take care of our own guys. So this is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. This is something that we're doing. We're doing this every single weekday at 11 a.m. I'm putting a shout out to Jeremy Ballreich. Bustin' Balls podcast comes in at 10 a.m. And we do this, and we do this. We love talking football. I can't believe that everything has ended up the way that it's ending up. We're about ready to cross 35,000 villains. We appreciate the people that are following the page, especially the ones that are taking the Lions journey with us on this page right here. We do invite the other fan bases in. We love our Bear fans. We love our Packer fans and Viking fans. We're going to make fun of them in the offseason and everything. But all the Lions fans that took this journey with us, that started over with us, when our page got shut down in June and we had to go all the way back to zero, we appreciate the support. We appreciate the support from Mike the Bear fan. We appreciate the support from Bill the Packer fan and Joe Chat from the Detroit Lions News podcast. Ifatu Melifanu for coming and giving us a shout out. Jason Kabinda for giving us a shout out. We're just fans. We ain't special. We ain't got no Braylon Edwards on our network or anything like that. We ain't got superstars on here. It's just Russell Wayne, Ken Doby, Main Event Mike, Greg Rice might pop on here. We might even get a Detroit Jesus every once in a while. We're all fans, man. We took this journey together. And we weren't too mean to the other fan bases that they don't want to come by and they don't want to come out here and talk some football with us, even when their team's gone. Like, we did that last year. It's fun. I mean,
hey,
I think it's fun.
I know why Main Event Mike's not here today. He's in mourning.
No,
he's in mourning. I'll show you why he's in mourning. Ken, thank you for the comment there. Yeah, huge news in the NFL yesterday. As it becomes official, Harbaugh going to the Chargers. So Mike's in mourning.
Hey, Ken, I'm sorry I got to cut you off. We're not, I got to cut the show off. I'm trying to do the ending right here, and I have to, my kid's about ready to get off, and he's probably waiting out there for me. But thank you, everybody, for watching the broadcast. It's faith, family, and football in that order. We got, I want to put a shout out to my church, NTC Church. If you're in the Genesee County area, you're looking for a church, come to our church. I get to play guitar on the praise and worship team. We worship the Lord. He puts out a good message. And if you hit the NTC give button in our description, we were able to do some great things and be able to help our community out. It's an outreach program. So if you do give to that, just know that this is a great organization of people right here that do good things. Gave away 400 turkeys for Thanksgiving, distributed them, provided Christmases to almost 100 needy families, entire Christmases. And we got new things coming up right there. So if you want to support that ministry, we appreciate you so much. God bless you for doing that. Faith, family, and football. Family and football, that's easy. Just watch Watch that football. Build use football to spend time with your family. Don't let football use you. And God bless you guys. We're looking forward. Tomorrow's going to be the picks. Pick 'em Friday. Pick 'em Friday. We're going to be picking these games. We're going to be talking about this Harbaugh signing. We're going to be talking about all kinds of football stuff. So God bless you guys. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow morning. Football Talk. Russell Wayne. Peace out.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.